Man, probably a fun fact on me is that I like to read. Like I like to read. That's a lost art nowadays. Oh, my great uncle is Jesse Owens. He won 4 gold medals in 1936.
I always want to leave people with this, man, to all the viewers and everybody out there, man. Make sure you guys finish your story. Make sure you guys finish your journey because somebody's going to need it.
Yeah. All you got to do is push the back button. That's all you got to do is push the back signal.
Try not to think about the future too much so you can maximize the now.
Who's your favorite rap artist?
Man, to be honest, it's crazy. Tupac always been my number one, right? Like he got me through so much stuff, but Lil Wayne has been in the modern day.
I said, what does it really take? What does it really take to be great, Drew? And he looked at me and he was like, you really want to know? And he was like, to be honest, everything you did to get here, you need to be consistent times 10.
What's up, everybody out there doing tonight? It's Hump Day around these here parts. It's your boy, Coach Lee, back at it like we're mad at it. And before we can get into tonight's topics, I gotta have my fellow cowboy brother up on the north side of town. My man, too, what's happening tonight, man?
Hey, man, baby, I'm chilling, baby. You know what it is, man. It's Wednesday, middle of the week. Tomorrow starts a brand new season.
This is football eve.
Exactly. We here, man. You know, I'm ready, man. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for tonight. Tonight is nothing but basketball show, so I'm ready to tune in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to you, Chris Ballard. Appreciate you hanging out with us tonight.
Yes, sir. Chris, man. What's up, man? Hope you're feeling better.
Oh, I hope so too, man. Whatever you got going on, prayers to you, brother.
You know what I'm saying? Hope everybody's, getting to it, but everybody's doing good. You know, either you're not or you are, man. Still hope you do.
So, yeah, tonight's Wednesday night basketball, the number basketball show, as we like to call it. But you had any chance to catch any of the Euro ball?
Caught bits of it, throughout work and all that. Really don't get to catch the prime games, bunch of highlights and things of that nature. But it seems like a lot of these players are putting in work on that side. I'm seeing a lot of, great highlights. I'm seeing the struggles of your boy Luka, where, he did some razzle-dazzle the other day, what I'm saying? I seen him hit the 3-ball with one hand, as Rudy was trying to swipe it. So, I've been following a little bit, but, from Giannis, what I'm saying, proving Gilbert Arenas wrong day in and day out. He's going crazy. You got a lot of potential over there, man. There's a lot of teams fighting for some Olympic spots in the next Olympic Games, man. And them teams are going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah. Yes, sir, Chris. We all good, bro. Appreciate you asking. It's interesting that you use the verbiage of fighting. They're fighting for Olympic position. Euro basketball is huge. It's international. And, it gets pretty competitive. There's a lot of talent on the other side of the pond. But we got something to share with you tonight. So, you ever been to a game where, it just got a little bit unruly and you didn't know what was going to happen?
Oh, yeah. Tons of games, including being engaged myself.
Oh, okay. So you was an enforcer, huh?
Enforcer, what I'm saying? Had to play enforcer at times. Had to play enforcer. Whichever way you had to take it, man, I was there, man. One thing about it, man, when the action spills on the floor, incidents happen on the floor, the leaders, you hear the people that jump forward, you know what I'm saying? But
right.
Sometimes the enforcers, that like that type of action.
Yep. So, we got a little bit of footage to share with everybody tonight. Speaking of fighting and action and spitting on the floor, but it's getting a little bit WWE on the other side over there, man. It's getting a little bit intense. Let's check this out.
Wow. Things need to calm down here. I'm being a peacemaker. Look at courtside. She needs to calm down.
So that little bit of a pushing going around, like I said, they're jockeying for that Olympic position. And, basketball over there kind of takes on a form of football, but when this happened, there's a little bit of an incident occurred out there. Where, Furkan Korkmaz was ejected by the opposing players during the Eurobasket loss to Georgia. This is according to Turkish officials, and Turkey is actually threatening to leave the tournament if they don't receive the security footage of the incident. Now, the incident in question is the fans got a little bit rowdy, so throwing cups on the court, and it get pretty heated real fast. So, do you think warrants them to threaten to pull out of the tournament, or you just thinking just cooler heads are going to prevail?
In this case, yeah. I totally agree with the coach of the Turkey team, threatening to take his team out if security is not tightened up. You don't need this. Crazy stuff happens in the games. The inadvertent headbutts and things of that nature, but that doesn't give fans a right to disrespect the game, disrespect the parquet, throwing stuff around. Bad enough that you have a skirmish on the basketball court. Now you have to handle the fans. And we don't know how games are ran in terms of beveraging over there. And, spectators, they're different from the USA spectators, maybe in some aspects, what I'm saying? We know what the American spectators do too. Kind of the same, but depending on where you're at, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? The limited alcohol, things play. You don't know what's going on there. And, yeah, I would want tight security at games too. You know what I'm saying? I don't want any of my players to feel like they're in harm's way.
So, you thought that after they had a little bit of skirmish, both players were ejected, that would be the end of the troubles that they had. But obviously, it did continue off court. And this is the video that they're speaking of that they want, because there was an alleged attack on Korkmaz, according to the Turkish officials. And they said that the Georgian police continued the violence after the game. So the actual police. Now, the actual statement from the Turkish Federation Vice President, Omer Onan, he said he was walking in the hallway of the locker rooms with our trainer. The Georgia's players who were not on the active roster attacked him together with the ejected player, Duda, and the police. This should not have been an attack on a player that goes to the locker room at the end of the match. 30 policemen each pushed us into a fight. We got into a fight with Georgia's official police. I'm calling it to FIBA, and I have also told FIBA officials, let no one deceive themselves or think that we're stupid. They will bring us all the camera footage from the corridor minute by minute without anything missing. If those cameras do not come to us, we will leave the tournament. Wow.
That's a damn shame. You got the cops beating on the players. Oh my God, like they taking this real serious.
That sounds like a Rucker Park action.
It seems like they wanted the action from the go. They was waiting for something to happen, and then boom, like they had beef for a long time, man. Like, never heard of Georgia and Turkey having beef. I mean, would we hear it? Being where we're at, or was it that close to media? Or was paying attention to that?
Right.
Not, but man,
that's kind of tough, man. They taken away from it.
Right, exactly, and the fact that it's a mutual site, in general,
right?
It's just crazy. That shame on FIBA if they're not gonna get into this situation where they're gonna have to discipline. They're gonna disciplinary that team, man, for that action.
They are, and the sad part about it is it's taken away from we were talking earlier today, how Gobert and Luka was going at it, and that's what they should be talking about today is the actual game that he had where he broke a 65-year-old record, scored 47 points today, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. That's what we should be talking about.
Yes, that's what we should talk about here. We shouldn't be talking about skirmishes in the summer. Though a lot of players that's playing in the EuroLeague basketball tournament are not playing in the NBA. But at the same time, we're watching the game. Their fans' perspective of the game and our fans' perspective of the game is the same thing. In the media as well. But of course, we live in this world where the negative outweighs sometimes the positive. What a shot right there! That is talented. I've seen him do a lot of things, even after the whistle or before the shot clock ended. He's a hell of a talent. And then they've been bashing him a bit this summer. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing that he's smoking cigarettes, before the games, having fun partying. But at the same time, I know he knows when to get in the gym and go to work. He knows the season's closer to starting. It's September right now. He knows he got to put on his dancing shoes, and he's about to get ready to go.
Yeah, he needs to. I have to say that whole international game it's come a long way. I guess I noticed it on the scene around the time, I think when Ginobili started, when he was playing for Argentina, and he came down and clowned Team USA, and that's when they had kind of reverted back to, the second tier, third tier players, where it wasn't a super team anymore, a dream team anymore. That prompted us to go back into that format. So I think the international game is, it's caught up with us, from a fundamental standpoint. Obviously, we still have the athleticism and overall talent, but as far as fundamentals and grit, I have to go with the Euro side.
Yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely. And the game's making this is why I said this a few times during the last few years. These international guys and the way they're getting the market now and the way they're breaking into the U.S. crowd in the professional game is making the Americans definitely have to play harder. And if they're not playing harder, they better stop playing harder. But I said this, man, the MVP, the way who was the MVP this year?
This past year, who was it? It wasn't Steph, was it?
Nah, MVP wasn't Steph. I believe it was. What was the MVP this year? I believe it was Giannis.
No, it was Jokic.
Oh, Jokic. Okay, sorry, Jokic.
If I'm not mistaken.
The international guys are starting to ring these up. You know what I'm saying? And Luka is a potential to be an MVP candidate. I mean, of course, he was an MVP candidate last year, but MVP candidate this year. You know what I'm saying? So the international guys are by stream taking the game. You know what I'm saying? They're taking control of the USA game. And I mean, it's been for a few years. When you name top players. You know what I'm saying? At least two of them from the list are international, or three. You know what I'm saying? You got a mixture of them. And it's been for a long time, but in this era of the NBA now, it's really turning. Where a lot of these guys are actually getting into the league. A lot of these guys are actually succeeding in the league. And it's good for TV. At the same time, being in American soil and feeling like the fight, it's much more tougher. It's going to get much tougher. A lot of these guys continue to get in and continue to have success in the way the game's changing already.
Right.
Luka Curry, top 10 player in the NBA. Absolutely, he is. And without a shadow of a doubt, he has the potential to, higher his stake. He's a great talent. Now you can say whatever you want about him, but he's in his wave right now. He beats to his own box.
Man, I'm having technical difficulties tonight. Get on my mic.
All right, man. Mike issues tonight. We actually couldn't hear Coach for the first 10 minutes. So
yeah, it's almost didn't happen tonight.
Right, so y'all can bear with us. If y'all love
my
us.
bad. We'll get it figured out.
Definitely.
Well, you ready to take your first break for the night, man? They don't hurt my feelings. I'm going to talk about something else now.
All right, man, here the keyboard cycle and all that, man. We going to take a 15 to 20 second break, so y'all get y'all popcorn, get y'all soda, juice, whatever, and come back with us.
Yes, sir.
What's up, world? Kyrie Robinson, man. New Orleans Saints veteran. Hey, man, make sure you guys go check out my guy, man, STWF. the media, man. Check them guys out. Y'all want to get sports talks with players, with fans, anything like that, man, go check them guys out, man. That's the place to be if you want to talk sports. Who That Nation?
Shout out to my man Kyle. He came up on Saturday, chopped it up with us, had a real good time. A lot of bond. Appreciate you, friend. And so I know we talked about it a little bit. It was a couple weeks ago, maybe. We talked about the. I know we talked about it in the group, but the incident between the Duke volleyball player.
Yep.
And and what transpired at the BYU game.
Yes.
So it seemed to have garnered some more traction on the other side, and we actually got a little bit of an update. Are you familiar with Don Staley?
Oh, familiar with Don Staley, man. One of the greatest basketball players of my time. One of the greatest upcoming women head coaches of all time. Hey, when I think of her, man, I think of her in that Charlotte Sting jersey when the WNBA first started, hooping. The lady's amazing. Shout out to Dawn Staley.
I definitely would agree with that. So she was in the news recently where she kind of made a decision in reference to that incident that occurred. Let's see if we can get this pulled up here. Because she's outspoken about it, rightfully so. This right there.
Explain to us, like, as you're getting ready to serve and as you're playing, kind of what happened next.
At the end of the second set, I had gone back to serve, and they heckled throughout the entire game. That's just a part of sports. You get used to playing through extreme environments like that. And very distinctly, though, I heard a very strong and negative racial slur. And then the next time I went back to serve, I heard it extremely clear again, but that was the end of the game. And so we switched sides, and I went over to a teammate that I'm just super comfortable, super close with, and I told her what had happened, and immediately she was like, all right, let's go tell coach. So she came with me, we told our coaches, and they went to the officials. The officials, we saw them speaking with the BYU staff, and then we were told someone was speaking to the student section, and I was all right. So, and that was the end of it. And we played our third set on the opposite side of the net from them. And then the fourth set, when we went back to that side, it was almost as though like the atmosphere of the student section had changed. And even like my teammates who were on the bench, like my black teammates who were on the bench who don't play, like they were being called out, pointed at. And it was really confusing as to why. And that's when the racial slurs and heckling, it just grew more extreme, more intense.
So that's a little bit of the background of the story that Coach Staley has spoken on. And since then, she's doing her part. She's reached out to people that she knows. And since then, she's made the decision, rightfully so, as the head coach of the women's basketball team for South Carolina, that they canceled their game, the game with BYU over the racial incident.
Yep, they canceled their home with BYU, something in contracts where, they go out to either play teams that gives them a competitive edge early, or a team that are the same competitive level as them. And shout out my man, shout out to my man, Kwan Bagley. He says, that's how it is in Utah. They're still not feeling us. Can you put that up for me, please? Yes, absolutely. On that point, man, you go into atmospheres in any sport, you definitely don't want to. You definitely don't want to hear things that in the back of your mind is going to trigger you. You definitely don't want to hear that. It's a sport. I'm not going to say that it's everywhere, but certain sports atmospheres, and in all sports, you go into that certain place where you're not familiar with, or you just hear a whole bunch of stuff that you definitely don't want to hear. And it's just sad. It is sad to see that the times are not equipping to the people in Salt Lake City, Utah, at all. We've heard numerous of things that have happened in Utah. Heckling fans, you know what I'm saying? That was the Russell Westbrook saga, you know, the bench heckling, you know, or this situation. A lot of people in a lot of places are never going to get with the time.
Right.
You make
Right.
in the mind, and they're always going to shoot for that. Now, if I was a basketball coach, would I have canceled the games? No, I wouldn't have. You give them the victory in my eyes. But if you standing up for something, you stand up 100, and you do what Dawn Staley did, and I salute her for what she did. I don't disagree with what she did. You know, at some point, it triggers people to the point where you use your platform, you know what I'm saying, to make people know that you understand them. Now, this is volleyball and basketball. Now, you don't see any volleyball teams doing anything like this. You see her using her platform with basketball to up in girls. And this is the start of stuff we need to start seeing. You know,
Right.
Talk about women's sports and, you know, the revenue and the market and things like that. And this wasn't even a money thing or money issue. This was potentially putting money in BYU's pocket and South Carolina's pocket, more BYU, and she took that away. So it's a sad situation to see that people just really want to. It disgusts me, man. I can't explain it because the stuff that just comes out of people's mouths. Like how, like
People feel indoctrinated nowadays.
really just like stay still. Like see me, my temper, my attitude wouldn't apply to that. You know what I'm saying? There'll be more than canceling the game to me. I mean, I know Staley's not going to do that. She has a lot on the line and all that. But
And Kawan made a great point. He says they love you when you benefit them, but not when you're on the other side. And speaking in particular, I think the comment he follows up with, think about if Utah had no problem with Karl Malone until he wasn't on the Jazz anymore.
right, exactly, because he was delivering on every day but Sundays. You know, and then they dog Karl Malone. You know, they just got. I mean, we'll save that topic for next topic. Actually, a Utah swing. You know what I'm saying, for the next couple segments. So, yeah, I think that she used the platform, you know, to bear and give mind to everybody else around, you know, in all women's sports. You gotta salute her. Because the way people talk about women's sports is they don't support one another.
Do you think that Utah, I mean, not Utah, but BYU didn't move fast enough? You think, you know, according to them, they put out a post on Friday night saying they're extremely disappointed in South Carolina's decision to cancel our series and ask for patience with the ongoing investigation. We believe the solution is to work together to root out racism and not to separate from one another. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a statement that a lot of people have to about situations. You know what I'm saying? The people that are writing this is not gonna stay in face. I mean, I'm not gonna say it starts with the people up top and all their races and all that, but this has become a norm. And I'm not saying that it's been a norm at BYU, but it sure has in the volleyball department. You know, in a sport where you're not really paying attention to. And it's sad that we have to talk about volleyball in regards to this.
Right.
Instead of us saying, hey, there's an interesting volleyball article, you know, team striving, team winning championships, back-to-backs and all that. And we're talking about racial slurs from people that never, ever slapped a volleyball in their lives, but want to go pay a ticket or go in there with a student pass for that.
Right. Man, and Kawan, I agree with you. They're doing that to save face. Because I'm thinking this incident happened, what, about 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
There's microphones everywhere. So what's going on? He says they should take the same stance as other universities, like in Wisconsin, out of the fan who's making racist remarks to the Asian fans. That's facts.
Absolutely. You do that, but I think in the swing of you can keep it in-house and all that, I'm not gonna be on the side of the BYU person that was spitting the racial slurs, but they go in, you out them, and they're on social media and all that, and it's the person that did it, fame, whatever. But this person's definitely not in a safe place, in a light place. Person's probably in a dark place, spitting all these racial slurs, and I wouldn't want nothing to happen to that person, you know what I'm saying? With all that media coming up to that person already. Now, if they know who did it, go to them, punish them, do whatever, go, boom, hopefully this person learns their lesson. They call a student, we don't know this person's background at all. I'm not saying the person deserves a second chance at anything in this situation, but I don't want to hear their name in the media. I don't want to hear that. That's giving them too much attention, and I don't want it.
Yeah, once you get them attention, then you start having copycats.
Right. And we don't need the copycat situation because it goes from state to state. Then one day you'll probably hear Tuquan knocking somebody out. We don't want.
Sometimes you have to use to reach out and touch somebody to set things straight. Exactly. And like Kawan said there's mics, videos, all kinds of footage. They can find anyone in the arena. They can. And that's, back to his point he said earlier, they're just trying to save face. If they were really doing something about it, I think they would have already done so by now. Like now, we're so far removed from it now. Can you really do the investigation you want to do?
A lot of
franchises want to do it, you should do when it's hot.
Right. A lot of franchises ain't gonna do. We just had a segment about the punter from the Buffalo Bills. The Bills knew about this stuff for a minute and didn't do nothing until basically the question is people try to stay face all day because most of the time they're not trying to deal with the situation. They're not trying to deal with it heads on. And maybe if they dealt with it heads on, it'll be a lot more easier, to diffuse the situation. But now you do not. So now you get to this now where you're not making no money off that.
I kind of wish they'd have caught the person red-handed in the act at the moment, because the other narrative that I've seen is there. Some people are trying to discredit the young lady's story, saying that if it had actually happened, they would have addressed it right then and there. All types of stuff.
It's sports, and not to even compare the female to male and all that. You know what I'm saying? We shout out to my ladies and shout out to my men, but. Hey, she's an athlete, so there's only so much you can take. You know what I'm saying? She kept that in house, winning with it after. You know what I'm saying? They may not like the way she announced it afterwards after the game, but it happened. What's she supposed to do? Let her team down in that situation? She still continued to play. You know what I'm saying? That takes heart to do. You know what I'm saying? And then address it after. You know what I'm saying? And tell the university what she did. She didn't go on Twitter. And go spread it out and all that. She let university know. She let her teammates know. Let her coaches know. Talk to the university. Try to handle it kind of in-house situation. Yeah, but then things happen. Just the issue. Then it gets to this person, that person, and then boom. You got your story.
If they're discrediting her story, they just ignorant. There's been plenty of incidents in Utah at games involving players and fans. Yeah, man, I've heard about it. I think was that Westbrook got into it with a fan from Utah?
Got into it with a fan. Westbrook got into it with a fan heckling him. Westbrook asked for the fan to be escorted out the arena.
Hey, you know what they need to do? Well, obviously, you probably can do it now, but man, they need a Mad Max type of reaction when he goes up in the stands to get the whooping ass.
Yeah, that's what's gonna start happening. You know what I'm saying? If they don't get a handle of this, that's what's gonna start happening. It's gonna be full throttle. You're gonna need extra security guards. Y'all don't want to pay for extra security nowhere. So y'all want this stuff to happen? Utah looks like they wanted to continue to happen.
Man, yeah. Utah is just a weird place. I don't know much about it. I've only been there once and was passing through, but it just felt so sterile.
Man, I ain't never heard of Utah either, or anybody going to Utah. And maybe in the future I need to take a trip to Utah. I think I need to take learn a life lesson and see how it is in Utah. Maybe not. Maybe I go out there with a mic for a week and interview people and see how Utah really is. I don't know.
That's the type of place I have to see what they concealed carry laws are before I go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't drive nowhere without no heat on me.
Yeah, I'll meet on you. Everybody, man, urge you too, man. No bull, have it, man. Get to it. Get your licenses, man. It's not hard. It's not hard to get one. And it's bad to say in this world. It's kind of a double-edged sword because protection is greatly in this world. You don't know what the hell's gonna happen.
Right.
But if you can have the opportunity to go get your license and all that, go get it. The steps are not hard at all to go get one.
Not at all. Not at all.
Protect yourself, protect your family, protect your bread, all that.
Oh man, let's see what we got. When I went to Utah, I was just passing through, man. I just didn't you know how you go places and you don't feel welcome? Probably the same reason why I don't like traveling through Mississippi and Alabama. Try to avoid those type places.
Yeah, when I was young, I went to Mississippi and it was crazy. It was completely different out there. They come over the boroughs, and I mean they understand. They talk about Massachusetts and what they portray us as, But I like I said, you said Alabama, Mississippi. I feel the same way, brother. I don't want to ride through them places. I don't want to ride over there.
And that's sad, man, because I don't been through Arkansas. I don't been through Oklahoma. It just certain places where you just know that you need to stay out of. You ain't, what I'm saying, unless you're just looking for smoke. But yeah, nah. If I can't take my pole with me, then I don't need to be there.
Fact.
All right, brother, you ready for the last stop for the night?
Last stop for the night is NFL Central. Guys, man, we're talking basketball, but get your mind in the frame of football because after tonight, basketball for about
loaded, man.
It's gonna be on the back burner, man. Guys, this is a basketball show, but when we get back to break, man, I got a question before we get to break.
All right.
Who's your sleeper in the NFL? If you tune in with us tonight, let us know. We'll be back in about 15.
Sleep on that. Pun intended.
No pun intended. Let's get it.
Hey guys, it's your girl Tamara Moore, former WNBA guard and current head coach at Mesabi Range College. I want to give a big shout out to STWF Media, the big brand, for showing love and always being about those good sports. Make sure you guys show them love. You and your community can join them every week to talk about sports. Shouts out to them and make sure you check them out.
And we're back at it like we're mad at it, man.
Get it.
So, basketball off season. No, don't get me wrong. The greatest off season out of the four major sports, obviously, is the gridiron. Basketball is probably close number 2. And there's a big trade that went down about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. And talking about Utah, maybe he asked out of Utah.
Oh yeah, he wanted out of Utah. He seen the reason. He seen what we was talking about a few moments ago and said, guys, that's why I left Utah. That's why I wanted to leave Utah.
I remember growing up, and I'm sure I'm my age here again, the Boston Celtics was like, either you loved them or you hated them. And I remember my pops didn't care for them too much. Because he felt like, they had the Larry Birds, the Kevin McHale, the Danny Ainge. They were the players that he saw, especially with Danny Ainge, saw him as a dirty player and probably borderline suspect with his social outlook. I'll leave it like that. So it's interesting. We just got done talking about Utah. Spider asked to get out of Utah. And who is in charge of the Utah Jazz right now?
Danny Ainge, man. So all off season, it's been speculations of Donovan Mitchell going here, Donovan Mitchell going there. We've seen the asking price of what Utah was asking for. A lot of teams were shelling it. One team we thought that would just say, hey, we're just going to give you all of this for Donovan was the New York Knicks. And the team ended up not being the New York Knicks. From what I've heard, the speculation, this was a consolation prize for Donovan Mitchell because he wanted to be out. And he specifically told Jazz organization that he wanted to go to New York. So they traded him to Cleveland and took what Cleveland offered him, which was way less probably than what the Knicks were projected to give them. And then you said Danny Ainge getting into the bag again with all these draft picks.
Ain't gonna do nothing with them.
All these draft picks, you got Victor Y back then. I don't even know his name, man. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I definitely am. The 7'2" guy from overseas, that's potential number 1 pick next year. And we know the Jazz are gonna be shaving next year in terms of trying to get the number 1 pick with San Antonio and a bunch of other teams looking for that man's services. Donovan Mitchell finally got what he wanted. Utah saying again that they can't keep the key pieces, they can't get it done. It's been history forever. You know, Carmelo and Stockton, they couldn't get it done. We're not comparing Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell to them, but those are the next two coming, and they couldn't get it done. Deron Williams, Carlos Boozer, Andre Karoleko, they couldn't get it done. This is the season for Utah. But Danny, like he did the Celtics for 12, 13 years, is going to try to do the same thing to another franchise. This man right here, this is going to be crazy. In about another 10 to 12 years, he's going to have over about 30-something years in GM experience, and he's going to fleece 2 franchises.
Yeah.
Absolutely, potentially can go to a 3rd franchise, depending on how the NBA swings in the next 10 to 15 years.
Well, you know, they got the rumors of supposedly, you know, they're about to make the announcement of the Vegas and the Supersonics.
Yes, potentially during the Clippers preseason games, they will make that announcement. So, that's another team. But I think those teams right there, with the way they're coming in, I can see some activeness from former players, you know, even entertainers or, you know, different athletes in different streets. Like we heard about Mayweather and them potentially having to deal with the Vegas, you know, situation. It's a lot of things that can go on, but this is astonishing. Like, I don't like Danny Ainge, but
tell it, brother, tell it.
Does he do good business?
So, according to the Cavaliers got Donovan Mitchell. Utah got Colin Sexton, decent pickup coming off an injury.
Hold on. And then Utah paid. Hold on. And the problem with Colin Sexton was they didn't want to sign him to more money. Utah got him in the trade, and then what Utah do?
Signed him.
Signed him to more money.
Gave him a 4-year deal. I sure hated that. I thought we were gonna have a chance at him. But they got Lauri Markkanen, Ochai Agbaji, 3 unprotected first-round picks in 2025, 2027, 2029, and 2 pick swaps for 2026 and 2028. So according to CBS, they gave the Cavaliers an A+.
Yeah, Cavaliers an A+.
I mean, gave the Jazz a B+. How you feeling about that?
Conference where you see teams year by year make the littlest trend to their team, try to stay active. This Eastern Conference is kind of getting teams that want to fish. They want to go in. They want to try to get a piece of the pie. Even if they get a second-round exit, they want to see what it feels like to have a good team. Shout out to the Cavs because there's plenty of teams this offseason. I said it in a post a few weeks ago. The Celtics and the Lakers, they made better moves than them 2 teams did during the offseason. Somebody tried to tell me, oh, they got Malcolm Brogdon and Gallinari. Well, Gallinari just tore his ACL. And guess what? Celtics fans, oh my God, y'all got a bad thing with history because at first they were saying it wasn't a tear when everybody clearly knew it was a tear. And then they said it was going to be okay. And then 1 week later it says he has a tear. So y'all going to shop, and I'm hearing people right now, Carmelo Anthony's favorite to sign potentially to the Celtics, and I'm hearing, oh, we should get this guy. Y'all was trashing Melo. Everybody, people trashing Melo, now they want Melo. Now they want Melo to be on it. Like, this is how Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge will say, F your favorite player, F the best player.
Yeah.
I know when it's getting stale, we're letting it go. And I don't think Utah will have them little teams like Boston did that was able to sneak to Eastern Conference Finals and give people the joy and the luck to be like, we're a contender. But he's going to have a hell of a time really projecting where these picks go, because guess what? Nobody knows where these picks go, and everybody continues to want them.
Yeah.
And
we gonna see Danny Ainge, your butt's on the clock, man.
You see that roster? You see what they got in return for Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell? They basically got a roster that they don't even know about, that the league don't even know about. We got a mystery roster in Utah in 10 years, and we're never going to know who they are.
Hey, man, I got to slide it in. Shout out to my Dallas Mavs, man. It's like they just shut down the whole Utah organization. It just blew it up.
Yeah, rest in peace. Rest in peace for what was going around. The Dallas Mavericks ended them. And it was crazy to see because we knew they was going to go down, and we knew it was going to be the last year of that tandem in Utah. But I didn't think it was going to go down the way it went down. They didn't have Luka for the first 2 games in Dallas. Then they get Luka. They already had split. And then from there, it just went downhill.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just wasn't like you have a team in like that in Utah. They don't get to the finals. Yeah, they don't get to the finals yearly. It is a team that's Grinch and plays hard and competes. And when the lights are on, they can't get it done. It's just sad to see that you dig for years with a team, try to improve, try to get better, and it just felt like nothing was sticking because everything just remained the same.
Well, I don't think Utah is done because, the latest rumor is they're shopping Mike Conley.
Yeah, they're going to blow that up. They're going to blow that team up. They're going to blow that team up, start fresh, try to find a trade partner. I'm hearing that the Los Angeles Lakers have been a favorite trade partner for Mike Conley and Jordan Fox's services. This is a matter of if they want to give up Russell Westbrook in a first-round pick to Utah. Me, personally, I'm going to be real. I want to keep Westbrook. Okay. Everybody keeps talking about this. I want to keep him.
You want to give it one more year?
We roll the dice. This is the thing. We in LA, we roll the dice all the time. We roll the dice. We play to try to win. If we roll the dice and we get snake guys, you know what I'm saying, barrel roll, whatever the case is, that's on us. We got to take the bullet. In this situation right now, hey, you got to take the bullet, man. You got to go in there as if, your dice is still hot, and you got to go in there and try to compete, man. All this you're going to try to trade for Mike Conley, who's been hurt. At least Russell Westbrook's going to give you 82 games. We just got to hope Russell Westbrook gets his 82-plus games of consistent basketball.
How old is Conley now, man?
Conley's about my age.
Did he play with Debo when he was there?
Oh, no. He played with Greg Oden.
Okay.
Played with Greg Oden. So,
he looked long in the tooth for NBA, though. But he's still serviceable.
Blow that team. They try to blow that whole team up, and I shout them out for doing it so long that, the window stays open. So you got to try to start over again before it becomes too late. You potentially could have had those 2 guys in Mitchell and Gobert and lost them for nothing. Good. I mean, it's probably good that Danny Ainge came at the right time because you know what he does. He's trying to get those picks ASAP. He's trying to see if he can maneuver something else before he tries to maneuver something else. Before finally he gets something. But when will he get something?
That's true. Man, I always hate to wrap it up, but at the mic issues of the night, we fought through it. Appreciate those who hung out with us and fought through it with us. But today's Wednesday, tomorrow football season starts. Next 48 hours about to be litty. Got football. Actually, Actually, the next 4 days.
Since we here right now, we got the Bills, we got the Rams tomorrow. Who are you taking in the first game of the NFL season?
I got the Bills, man. I think they and the reason I got the Bills, they had a quiet, steady offseason. They did pick up Von Miller. They already had a decent defense. Bring him in as a situational pass rusher. I think Josh Allen grew up during the postseason last year, and I think the way they went out in the overtime loss, they left a bad taste in their mouth. And then I don't think it's the same the same Bills that we've seen in the past. I think they're on a mission this year. I know Vegas has them as a favorite, but hell, I picked them last year to represent. I'm gonna ride with them again this year.
Let's see if the intensity of the running backs improved this year for the Bills. I felt like that was somewhat of an Achilles heel last year. I felt like overall they had a great team. Now this year they go back, they come back with the same helm just about, you know what I'm saying? Still got Devin Singletary, they got Jack Moss, to back them up. That's a new volume over there. So let's see how he performs. That's what I want to see out of Buffalo. Buffalo should win this game tomorrow due to the fact that, the Rams are still drinking off that Super Bowl win. Matt Stafford's not coming into the season 100%. And you don't really know. Matt
Stafford, man.
Despite the Rams team being good and everybody was able to get signed back and they was able to add some additions, they're old. Right. They're old. It's not like they're young. You know what I'm saying? What they do is risk to win. They play to win. So now they got a team that looks like LeBron, AD in them. But the question is, they got talent. The question is, can they stay up? You know what I'm saying? Can they stay up? And
their running game is their Achilles heel.
Right. And we're not eliminating the Rams at all. This is week one. Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. But if you look at the football index, you know what I'm saying? A lot of those teams that come off that championship, you're going to get the best. You're going to get that team's competitiveness, the away team coming in. And especially what you said with the Bills. Overtime messed them up last year. Overtime potentially, you know what I'm saying? They potentially lost. They lost, and they would have been in the Super Bowl last year potentially. Like they're gonna be all hell on fire tomorrow. So I hope the Rams are able to match it over at the crib, after hoisting the ball.
That's true. So football tomorrow. We got college football Saturday. UT playing Alabama. Got no full slated games. Our boys play Sunday night, but Friday, as it pertains to us.
Oh yeah.
Make sure y'all tune in. We got a special guest.
Bitch, we on the grind, making money move. Yeah, we trying to win. Fuck who wanna lose. Sticking to the code, living by the move. Rush hour coming through, don't make us act a fool. Cause bitch, we on the grind, making money move.
So come hang out with us Friday night, 7:30 sharp. Peter Guns will be in studio hanging out with your STWF family at the STWF studios in the great part of Arlington, Texas. So make sure you tune in and holler at us. Yes, sir.
We get down, baby. He about to come through, dog. Grab your red cups. As I said, man, Peter Guns gonna come through. It's gonna be a hell of a time, man. Come through with your questions. If you have any, you know what I'm saying? This man. If y'all know Peter Guns, y'all know what's up, man.
He's an open book.
It was a good time, open book, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he's one of my favorite guys on television in the last 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to that man. He'll be here Friday. We're gonna throw him his roses.
We'll have a good old time. But we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Who you got for shout outs tonight, fam?
Shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight. Shout out to everybody that continues to make the group stronger. Shout out to everybody's family. Hope everybody's family is blessing coming into this fall season and finish this year strong on a strong note as we get to the coldness and all the other stuff that comes with these last couple of months.
No doubts. Hey man, appreciate you hanging out with your boy tonight. Shout out to everybody, as Brother True said, everybody hung out with us tonight. Again, apologize for the technical difficulties. Like to be great at all time, but we all have an over game from time to time. But we'll be back locked and loaded.
Improved as the night went. Right now, you sound perfectly fine. The last few segments, you felt you perfectly fine.
I changed some on my end, so it's good to hear that it improved.
Oh yeah, definitely improved, man. You already know.
Well, appreciate you, fam. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Tomorrow, cheer on your favorite team. Friday, get in there, hang out with your boys. Peter Guns in the house. Appreciate y'all.
Take care.